Welcome, ladies and gents. We've got some rumoured leaked plot details for Superman Legacy. So I thought we'd take a look, see whether they're good or not, see what we think, see what you guys think as well. So hit subscribe if you're new here, turn the bell notifications on, and let's dive right into it. So, this article is linked down below. Alleged plot details revealed for James Gunn's Superman Legacy film. Now, side note before we get started, what do you think about the suit? Let me know. It's getting people divided, that's for sure. So alleged plot details have been shared for James Gunn's Superman film, which was originally announced as Superman Legacy. I'm guessing, is there some rumour now that they've changed it? I've not kept up to date on the name. I thought it was just Superman Legacy, but alright. So according to ex-user Rejected Scooper, the film will see Superman stand out from other heroes, given he has a no-kill rule, whilst Lex Luthor is a war profiteer. Now, some of this does line up with some of the previous leaks, which were, about like a war in the Middle East and things like this. It was like, that's a bit, shouldn't really, it's all a bit, shouldn't be doing that and all this nonsense. So, yeah, some of it lines up. Other superheroes are edgy and kill when necessary. Remember, it's James Gunn making this. That does sound like something he'd do. Superman is an outcast among them for his optimism and no-kill rule, and ultimately inspires them to change their ways. How long has he been Supermaning for, then? Because I always think if you're telling a story, but you're midway through a universe being established, right? It's just, we watched this movie and he's been Superman for like 10 years. For argument's sake, I don't know. How's he not influenced them yet? What's the turning point for these heroes to suddenly be like, oh yeah, sure, I won't kill people anymore. I won't murder people. Like, what? Whatever. So, ultimately inspires them to change their ways. Lex Luthor is war profiteering on an armed conflict in a foreign nation called Jahan Puria. Or Puria. Jahan Puria? Alright. Superman intervenes in the conflict, and the US government deploys a clone created by Luthor, dubbed Ultraman, to arrest him. Now, this does line up with the leaked images of like a pretty jacked guy, which matches Superman, quite frankly, in an all-black outfit with a U on the front. So it does actually line up with that. Apparently, Ultraman then deteriorates into Bizarro and goes rogue. Alright. Superman and his super friends must stop him, whilst Lois Lane and the Daily Planet staff work to expose Luthor for his crimes. Apparently, the movie reportedly ends with Superman revealing his secret identity to Lois. It's a bit quick, isn't it? It's a bit quick. Luthor avoids repercussions for his crimes and then announces that he's running for president. And then also Supergirl arrives on Earth. Plus other DCU setups like the Engineer getting recruited into the Authority. And this is the tweet itself. But there has actually Bizarro. Right, so Ultraman and Bizarro. I don't hate it. It does line up with the images that we'd seen. Some images floating around on Twitter of this sort of guy. He's got a mask on, all in black, arresting Superman. Which I guess if you're looking at here, Ultraman, arrests Superman. It does make sense. Like, it lines up a lot with the leaks. With the images. So, and you can see here. Here's the Ultraman thing. You can see, like, a pretty much identical build. By the looks of it. Height, everything looks pretty much the same, to be honest. So, it's not that much of a stretch. Don't know who this is. Don't know who that's supposed to be. This is friend of the channel, Tom. So a set photo does show Superman being arrested by what looks to be government officials and a masked superhero that could be Ultraman. There is a character in a black suit, mask and goggles similar to Black Noir from The Boys. However, he has a U on his chest, which you can see very clearly there. As far as the armed conflict in a foreign nation, this appears to confirm previous rumours from awful person Grace Randolph. Randolph shared in July that the film would feature a conflict in the Middle East. Superman wants to stop it one way, other heroes disagree, which I guess is the murdering part. Lex Luthor is also trying to negotiate peace his own way. The Authority was a misdirect, clever. It's actually a JSA type team, or the actual JSA. Alright then. I hear a certain DCU movie has switched its conflict from the Middle East to Eastern Europe. It's in poor taste, isn't it? You know, because of Russia and Ukraine. But alright. In fact, actor Basim Youssef also claimed the film script was changed. He said in an interview with Salon, "I was a little bit bitter about losing the role. And I was kind of very sad. Why, in the United States of America, you can talk about Joe Biden and you can talk about Donald Trump, but you cannot criticize a foreign government," which is kind of very sad. And then, because of the fact that I was cast in the movie Superman, and then they told me, we've changed the script after the Piers Morgan interview. This is the sort of interview we talk about, you know, Gaza and Israel and that. And I want to assume good faith. I want to know, I want to believe that this is true, and I was a little bit bitter, and I wanted to go, I was like, oh, screw DC, screw Warner Brothers. So Gunn and DC would fire back via IGN, but confirmed the script was changed. A source informed the outlet, Alex Steadman, that Youssef was dropped before the Piers Morgan interview. A source close to the production, however, disputes Youssef's timeline, telling IGN that Youssef's character was dropped from Superman Legacy well before Piers Morgan interview. According to our source, writer-director James Gunn was indeed in talks with Youssef to play the character Ruman Hajavti. God, these fucking names, man. The character was dropped entirely from the script, though, by at least September, before the Piers Morgan interview. Therefore, the source says Youssef was never offered the role to begin with, and the issue does indeed come down to script changes and the character being cut altogether. And Gunn said this is accurate. So there you go. I mean, what else is there? It says that the years ago, I saw a way in many ways, centering around Superman's heritage, how both his aristocratic Kryptonian parents and his Kansas farmer parents inform who he is and the choices he makes. I'm not sure how that makes any sense. This will be interesting. This will be interesting. What do you guys think of the rumoured plot? Again, a lot of this stuff does line up with what we're seeing. Could just be smart people making comments on it all and just putting it all together. Could be. Or could be legit leaks. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. If this is the case, does it sound like a movie that you care about? What do you think about the suit? Do you think it's a little bit too soon? Like, what's all this then? What's that supposed to be? Maybe it's just a misdirect. Oh, well, I'm talking about this, obviously. Is that like a random misdirect? If it's just a random war and they're just fighting a war, like, who cares about what's going on in the background then? Or maybe that's Green Lantern fighting Bizarro, I guess? I don't know. Thoughts? Thoughts down below. Hit subscribe if you're newer, guys. Turn the bell notifications on. Also, support me further, because I do get demonetized. So, support for as little as $2 a month on Patreon, which is linked down below. Cheers, take care. Bye-bye now.